This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome to KPVM-TV and Ace Country Radio's News 25. It's Wednesday, July 1st. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Well, some changes have been announced regarding the Independence Day Freedom Festival at Petrick Park this weekend. But first, 3 people, including a juvenile, have been arrested in connection with the murder last week here in Pahrump.
On June 23rd, Nye County Sheriff's Office detectives began a murder investigation. They were investigating a shooting that reportedly occurred near the bus yard at State Route 372 and Woodchips and were seeking a gold sedan, allegedly in connection with the shooting. Detectives say they identified 20-year-old Nicholas Von Aust of Pahrump as a primary suspect. Von Aust was the driver of the vehicle whose passenger was killed during that shooting. Von Aust was also driving the same vehicle in the same area when he was shot in early May. The Sheriff's Office says their investigation revealed that on June 23rd, Von Aust and a friend, Kyle Bickerstaff, conspired to rob a 17-year-old juvenile. Detectives say Von Aust made plans to meet with the juvenile that night, and around 2:30 a.m., he and Bickerstaff met with and lured the juvenile into their vehicle under the guise that they wanted to purchase a handgun from him. The investigation revealed that as soon as the juvenile entered the vehicle, Von Aust and Bickerstaff pointed guns at the juvenile and demanded everything he had. Both men reportedly began pistol whipping the juvenile and forcibly took the gun from his hand. Detectives say the juvenile was ultimately able to retain the weapon because a friend of the juvenile's from outside the vehicle pulled a gun on Von Aust and told him to let the juvenile go. The Sheriff's Office says their investigation further revealed that Bickerstaff pointed a gun at the juvenile, and the juvenile returned fire in self-defense, ultimately killing Bickerstaff. Detectives say at that point, Von Aust left the scene and subsequently provided false statements to law enforcement about what had happened in an attempt to conceal the crimes. They say Von Aust provided false statements regarding a gold vehicle in connection to the shooting. The juvenile was initially arrested for murder. However, at the conclusion of the investigation, it was determined that he acted in self-defense and the murder charge has not been pursued. The juvenile was turned over to juvenile probation. Von Aust was arrested and booked on charges of aiding a felony offender, open murder, battery with a deadly weapon, conspiracy to commit robbery, and robbery. During the investigation, detectives say they discovered that 47-year-old Monica Gonzalez of Pahrump aided in the destruction or concealment of material evidence in the case, specifically a handgun. The Sheriff's Office says Gonzalez gave the evidence to another person and asked them to get rid of it. Gonzalez was arrested and booked on a charge of aiding a felony offender.
Thank you so much to Brad for that report. Well, Nye County is reporting 110 confirmed cases of COVID-19 positive test results. That's up 7 during the last 27 hours. One of those positives was an antibody positive that was transferred to the active category. All 7 are here in Pahrump, and that gives Pahrump a total of 93, Tonopah 4, Amargosa 10, Beatty 3, and 4 antibody positive test results. And we are still at the total of 3 known deaths. Well, first responders were kept busy Tuesday responding to at least 3 traffic crashes on Pahrump roadways, including one at the intersection of Highway 160 and 372.
At least 3 people, including a baby, were checked out by medics and transported to Desert View Hospital by Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue Ambulance. They were injured when 2 vehicles collided at 160 and 372 around 6 p.m. Tuesday. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies helped to direct vehicles around the crash scene. The intersection was partially closed to through traffic while Nevada Highway Patrol investigated the crash.
All right, more news when we return after this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, the COVID-19 crisis has more Americans rethinking retirement. A new survey provides some insight into the search for work and economists expect a surge in the resale market.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, the COVID-19 crisis has Americans rethinking retirement. According to a survey by TD Ameritrade, 72% say they plan to make saving for their golden years a priority. Most people need 70 to 80% of what they earned while working to live comfortably while retired. Social Security, on average, totals just $18,000 per year. The Chicago Federal Reserve is out with a fascinating new study. People who receive unemployment benefits are more likely to search for work. After the employment money runs out, that is usually when people stop looking for a job. And it's predicted the secondhand market will reach $44 billion by 2029. More Americans say they plan to limit clothing buying. 52% expect to shop secondhand stores during the next 5 years.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks so much, Angela. Well, Zambelli Fireworks are not happy that they weren't included in the decision today to change the Freedom Festival from being an outside event with social distancing and masks to stay in your car fireworks show. The Independence Day Freedom Festival will continue according to the town, but with restrictions. The town of Pahrump is taking steps to promote a safe and healthy 4th of July fireworks show on Saturday that will allow this important community gathering under the state's mandated face covering and social distancing directives. Petrick Park and the surrounding area will be closed to foot traffic for the 9 p.m. fireworks show, and spectators are being asked to remain in their vehicles. Parking by the Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue Station 1 and adjacent helicopter pad will be prohibited for safety reasons. Spectators will not be allowed to gather in the park or adjacent arena area. Basin Avenue will also be closed at noon on Saturday from Highway 160 to Whitney Lane. The 4th of July fireworks show is hosted by the town of Pahrump and will be overseen by Zambelli Fireworks. And of course, the music that is accompanying the fireworks show is going to be simulcast here on Ace Country Radio 103.1 FM. Tune it into your car radio to hear that music that was specially made for that show. Well, according to a recent study, the average American consumes as much as 20% of their calories while eating out. Cleveland Clinic's Camille Skoda says the research also tells us about the quality of restaurant foods.
1 in 5 calories that were consumed during the study period were consumed at restaurants, so both fast food and full-service restaurants. And the main takeaway of this study was that the quality of these meals actually remained really poor throughout the time of the study.
Skoda says even though many restaurants are offering healthier options such as salads instead of French fries, it's up to the consumer to make the better choice, and this study shows we're not always doing that. If you find yourself eating out often, she says it's important to be mindful of your menu selections. Skoda recommends ordering grilled instead of fried foods. She says it's also best to keep it simple, like a piece of chicken and non-starchy vegetables. And while it's okay to indulge in a calorie-rich menu item from time to time, Skoda says you should aim to keep the majority of your meals homemade.
It's not surprising that those meals that we're cooking at home are much healthier than the meals that we eat out. We do have more control over what we're putting in those, usually, more control over the quality of the ingredients. If we keep those meals that we're eating at home to the foundation of our diet, then being able to splurge a little bit when you go out to eat is not such a big issue.
Skoda says the study was performed before it became mandatory for restaurants to list nutritional content on their menus. She says knowing what's in foods may help people make better choices in the future. Complete results of the study can be found in the Journal of Nutrition.
Well, there is an update on that mahogany fire that was burning there up on Mount Charleston and is still burning up there on Mount Charleston. Those are not the right pictures for that fire. That's the one on Irene Street. But we're going to talk about the mahogany fire, which is up there on Mount Charleston, which has activity throughout the night. Fire crews are continuing to construct hand line operations along the perimeter, and crews will be working around the entire fire area today. Windy conditions are expected, which may cause more smoke as interior portions of the fire continue to burn. Crews will continue to work on spot areas of the eastern side of the fire, and helicopters with water buckets are supporting the firefighters on the ground. The cause of this fire is still under investigation, and it started on June 28th at approximately 2:30 in the afternoon near the Mahogany Grove campground off of Deer Creek Road. They currently have 420 personnel on scene. The fire has burned 2,794 acres, and it's considered 10% contained at this time. Estimated containment is this Saturday, July 4th at noon. The fire is burning pinyon, juniper, and brush. State routes 156 and 157 are now open, but 158 remains closed.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue and BLM crews responded to a small brush fire this afternoon on Irene Street. Witnesses say that one person was on scene trying to stomp out the fire with his foot. The fire was further extinguished by fire crews with no further extensions. Well, whether it's your starter home or your dream home, many of us feel like we just need a little more room. This week's Angie's List report explores ways to find extra space in your current home.
A place for everything and everything in its place. That's the ideal way to keep your home neat and tidy. But what happens when you run out of space? Before you go to the extreme and start looking for a new home, consider some alternatives to make the most out of the space you have.
Homeowners are looking to maximize storage space in their homes. Custom cabinets are very popular these days, and you can find all kinds of unique storage when you can go custom cabinets. For example, a toe kick drawer in the kitchen or in the bathroom can really make good use of some wasted space.
Wendy Langston, the owner of Everything Home, suggests adding specialized products to existing cabinets if custom cabinetry isn't an option for you.
There are a ton of aftermarket things that can be put onto cabinets or into cabinets to make them more functional. Think of the Container Store or Rev-A-Shelf. These companies have places where we can add a knife block to a utility drawer in the kitchen. So now all the knives go from being visible on the counter to now being tucked inside in a neat and tidy space.
Mark Einselin with Old Town Design Group recommends evaluating the areas in your home with a critical eye to determine which areas can be improved.
So one way that homeowners can maximize the space they already have in a home but may not be using is to take note how they use it throughout the year, throughout the day, and then consider what it's adjacent to. So if you have unused space next to your kitchen area, maybe you could repurpose that as a nook or storage for pantry. It could probably be better utilized.
Adding a nook to your kitchen is popular these days, and for good reason. Moving the dining area to the kitchen can be a good option, since many of us no longer need a formal dining room.
One of my favorite trends is adding window seats or banquettes to your kitchen. It allows you to add extra storage space for bulky kitchen items, and it provides a cozy feel.
Adding storage beneath furniture like benches or ottomans is a good way to maximize often unused space, but don't stop there.
When looking for extra space in your house, look up. You could add extra shelves above cabinets in your kitchen or in your closet that can provide needed storage.
One of my favorite ways to increase storage is to utilize the full height of a room. So if you've got 10-foot ceilings, extending your kitchen cabinets all the way to the ceiling is a great use of space. Also in your closet areas, you can add shelves above the doorways to add extra storage.
If you don't have room for a full linen closet, the bathroom is another area where adding shelves can help solve space issues, among other storage solutions.
We also look at robe hooks, where we might not have space for big wide towel bars, because hooks can be a super functional way to hang things where maybe we don't have 24 or 30 inches of wall space for a towel bar, for example.
From simple solutions like furniture and hooks to more involved improvements like custom cabinets, homeowners today have innumerable options to help maximize their existing space and conquer storage problems. For more information, check angieslist.com.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
And as we head to our break, we're going to take a look outside and see what's happening out there. A little windy, clear skies. We'll find out more right after this break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Don. you today's weather. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 100 degrees, a low of 75, 109 with a low of 80 in Death Valley, 98.68 in Amargosa, 94.63 in Beatty, 86, a low of 54 in Goldfield, 85.53 in Tonopah, 83, a low of 50 in Carson City, 89.52 in Fallon, and then 88 with a low of 54 up in Fernley. Now today in Pahrump, we saw sunny skies. Our high today was 96 degrees. Winds coming out of the south-southwest up to 16 miles per hour, 10% humidity, and 5:30 this morning for our sunrise. Now for tonight, we're expecting clear skies. Our low is going to be 72 degrees. It is 94 outside currently with 14-mile-per-hour winds out of the southeast, humidity at 17%, and 8:05 tonight expected for our sunset. Now looking into that 7-day, we're really not seeing any changes. Still going to be seeing those sunny skies all throughout the week with some high winds anywhere between 11 to 16 miles per hour. And the same story with our temperatures, we're really not going to be seeing any changes. Thursday and Friday, we're expecting highs of 98 to 99 degrees. We're going to jump up into those triple digits from Saturday to Tuesday between 101 and 102 degrees, then back to 99 by next Wednesday. Same with our overnights, we're pretty much just going to be hanging out in those low 70s, anywhere between 70 to 73 for the temperatures. And so now with that, we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna.
Thanks so much, Michael. Well, COVID testing and antibody testing are available through Serenity Health. Here in Pahrump, you can call 702-234-5398 to get tested, and that is ongoing testing. And that is for Pahrump, Beatty, and Amargosa. That's 702-234-5398. If you are in Tonopah, there's two different numbers that you can call, 775-302-5800 or 775-482-6659. Those phone numbers and that flyer is on nyecounty.net, and of course local Pahrump's Facebook page. For more information, contact Serenity Health. You can email them at prump@serenityhealth.com. Well, the movie in the park is not happening this Saturday because of Independence Day, but they are having one on July 11th, and that movie is Abominable, and that is in Honeysuckle Park. Well, it's Ian Deutsch Memorial Park on Honeysuckle between Dandelion and Pahrump Valley Boulevard. The movie starts at 8 p.m. Bring your chairs. Of course, social distancing and masks are required for that, and have a great time. Those, of course, are free. The VFW Post is having a ceremony this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. at their location on Homestead Road, and that is open to the public, and that is for Independence Day. They'll be meeting at the flagpole there. There's a first responders lunch, and that is from 11 to 2 p.m. at the Bob Roode Community Center on the corner of Basin and Highway 160. Open to all first responders, and that is free. We'll tell you more about that in the coming days. We want to remind everybody that the launch site is going to be open there on Gamebird and Fox. If you buy fireworks here in town, you get a $5 permit, and you can go and launch your fireworks right down there at the launch site. And of course, we'll be updating you on all of that information, and we'll tell you all about what's happening for this Independence Day tomorrow and the next day. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Have a great night. We'll see you back.